Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my movie review of Thor 2, The Dark World. Movie review with minor spoilers. I saw it today, saw it at the 7 o'clock show, 3D version. There you go, Thor, The Dark World. There you go, Thor 2, The Dark World. Anyway, this movie, so for those who've seen the trailer and those who haven't seen the trailer, basically starts off with with a little prologue saying, Odin basically telling the story about how thousands of years ago, how his father, defeated. There was darkness, and then these beings known as dark elves tried to send the universe into darkness. They were going to use a weapon source called an ether. I guess that's what they call it, an ether. I guess that's what they pronounced it anyway. But the warriors from Asgard defeated them, and their leader Malek. But Malek is, basically escaped and hid. This all-powerful source, they hid it, they buried it, so hopefully nobody can get to it. And basically, that's the story how it begins. And then, you see they flash to present Asgard, where you see basically Thor is fighting to basically restore order to the 9 realms because of Loki's act of betrayal in the first movie. All the realms were rioting basically, and then Thor had to basically clean it up. And then from that point, of course, they also flash back to Earth, where Jane Foster is talking about Thor, and she's trying and missing him and stuff. And then actually she discovers an anomaly. Her friend, Darcy, they discover an anomaly, and they go to investigate, and they discover this sort of wormhole, and Jane gets sucked into it. Okay, and she's missing, and Thor, who's actually, keeping tabs on her from Asgard, from Helmden, who can see everything. And there's a moment when he can't see her, so Thor returns to Earth to, reunite with Jane. And when cops go to arrest her, like I said, this is a spoiler. She's been absorbed by this ether. I guess I'm gonna call it ether. That's an easier way. I think it's called ether, but this ether, the source is within her. So Thor takes her back to Asgard, and then from that point on, Malek, who's actually been hidden, I guess he's been hidden. He gets awakened by his people, and his plan is, of course, to try to do it again, to take over the 9 realms and plunge the whole world into darkness. Okay, that's his plan. So basically, with Jane and Asgard, they attack. He sends his protege Algrim to infiltrate. Actually, let's say he does something to turn him into the character of Curse. Okay, and he becomes a super powerful being, and basically he sneaks him into the Asgardian jail, and then they start assaulting Asgard. And without spoiling, I don't want to spoil too much more because I think I'm telling all of the plot. Okay, but from that point on, basically it's the fight from Thor and all of Asgard trying to stop Malek from plunging the universe back into darkness, getting this ether source that's absorbed in Jane. Basically, that's what he wants to do. He wants to get that power source from Jane, so he can turn the whole 9 realms into darkness and rule, of course. And he has his dark elf followers with him. Okay, and let me just say, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie had a nice sense of fun and action. And I know some people complain about the humor, but I loved the humor in this movie. It made the movie, and plus the great action scenes. And like I said, at least in this movie, you didn't have to go through the Thor being humble part, him being on Earth with no powers. In this movie, he's all power. He's powerful from the beginning, and all throughout the movie. And you get to see him use his hammer, and it's freaking awesome. I love the action scenes in this, and I'm glad they got the director. I think Alan Taylor's the director who directed some Game of Thrones episodes, and you can see his influence in it. And Asgard looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Okay, the only and I love the humor, and plus Tom Hiddleston is Loki. Like I said, and like you see in the trailer, basically Thor goes to him for a reason, which I don't want to spoil. Okay, to help defeat Malek. Okay, and I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki. He's absolutely fantastic as usual. Him and Chris Hemsworth have great sibling chemistry, and there's a great, great banter back and forth between them, which is absolutely fantastic. And I love the humor in this movie. It's great. I know people say it's too much humor, and they think Darcy's character, Kat Jennings, is too annoying. I love her character. She brings the funny, and it's good, and it doesn't take away the seriousness from the plot to me at all. It just makes the movie more entertaining to me, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was like I said, you have the drama parts, the series, and the good action scenes, and throwing that hammer around. I love those effects of him throwing the hammer around and stuff. And the only weak part, I guess, to this movie, I guess Malik wasn't, to me. I mean, his plan, of course, was to, destroy the 9 realms and stuff, and turn the whole everything universe plunge into darkness. But he didn't seem as threatening as I guess he could have been. I guess his sidekick, which was Halivern at first, and then he got changed by Malik into a more powerful being. Okay, and he seemed more like a badass. He actually, there's a good fight with him and Thor, which was epic. And like I said, this movie, I just enjoyed it, and it was a nice advancement from the first movie. Because like I said, you got to see Thor in his element from the beginning, with his powers and kicking ass and taking names, and then him stepping up when he has to, and doing what he has to do to help, stop this threat. And it's great. Like I said, Chris Hemsworth just owns the role. He's great. And then, like I said before, Tom Hiddleston as Loki is just perfect. Him and, like I said, I love that banter between him and Thor. It's just absolutely classic. And there's a scene, which I don't want to spoil, when he goes to Loki and takes him out of the, jail cell to help him with his, plan to stop Malik. And it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, the whole theater started breaking out, cracking up, because it was just a great moment, which I don't want to spoil. Okay, and this movie is a great continuation, and I love that battle between when Thor and Loki went to the Dark Realm to confront Malik. That was a great scene, and there's great moments in that scene that I don't want to spoil. That absolutely I thought was fantastic. And then of course the final battle at the end, I thought was fantastic. With Thor, battling out and the hammer flying that way, and like I said, this movie had a good sense of fun, a good sense of humor too. It had, like I said, it had serious moments, but those moments of humor just would crack people up and crack me up. So it just made the movie just that much more entertaining to me, and it kept me fully engaged in the movie. So I really, really like this movie. And like I said, they're gonna, of course, there's a end credit scene, and then there's a final credit scene, which I don't want to spoil in this video. Maybe I might do a spoiler video where I review everything. I might do that. Maybe I think I probably will do that for Thor. Do a spoiler video where so I can talk about these things, the things that I want to spoil for people who haven't seen it. But anyway, I can see this, and this is going to lead perfectly into the Avengers movie. I think into the next Avengers movie, and this is great. And I would give this movie, let me see, how would I rate it? Okay, I would give this movie an 8. Yeah, an 8. Or should I give it a 7.5 or an 8? No, I'm gonna give this movie an 8 because I like that humor. The humor had me cracking up. Like I said, the only weak spot, I guess, was Malik, because I mean, he was supposed to be this all-powerful guy and stuff, and he, like I said, his sidekick seemed like, Curse seemed like a more powerful being. Okay, and seemed to, he was just kind of generic a little bit, Malik, talking big and stuff. But yeah, it still didn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie. Okay, I just really enjoyed it, and I liked the little romance they did with Jane and Thor too. I like those moments too with Natalie, and Natalie Portman is gorgeous. She's just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Okay, and I loved her in this movie. So, and I'm biased because I absolutely love Natalie Portman. Okay, so I said it. Anyway, like I said, I'll give this movie an 8. Thor 2, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because like I said, I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get this on Blu-ray and watch all those scenes again. And the action I thought was great. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen it, I'm rambling a bit. And let me know what you think about Thor 2: The Dark World. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care. And also, one last thing. Before Thor 2, they showed the elevator sequence, I guess in Captain America 2, Winter Soldier, that's going to happen. They actually showed the whole scene, which was actually so kick-ass. You got to see it just for that alone. It was absolutely fantastic. I love the way they shot it and everything about it. And hopefully, I would hope they release that scene. You know, well, they probably won't release it because it's part of the movie. But it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, and like I said, for Thor 2, there is an after credit sequence, and there's a final scene at the end. That I'm going to spoil. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll just tell you it's there so you don't get up and leave. You know, there is a scene. Stay to the very end, to the credits roll up, to the last of the credits roll up. Okay, and wait. Okay, so you'll get rewarded. Okay, so let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below again. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.